Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. This is live stream 972. If you're not overly familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual around here. We are certainly not engaged in rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. No, we're just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And normally I will share a first look or a review of a tabletop game. Tonight, we're actually going to be diving on in and taking a first look at the second edition of Maximum Apocalypse from Rock Manor Games. We will get on into this in just a little bit. Do want to mention, if you are tuning in for the unboxing, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first around here. So kick back, relax, put your feet up. We'll get to it. Now, of course, if you're tuning in 30 minutes or more after the show has ended, and you happen to be an impatient type, there will be show notes. You can find those in the, I should say, there will be timestamps. I did that last week too. I don't know, because I always have that there will be blood popping into my head right about the same time. I don't know why I can't shake that. There will be timestamps. They will be in these show notes. So you can jump ahead to tabletop gaming news if you would like, although I've got a lot of cool news tonight, as I usually do. And of course, depending on the device you're watching this on, those timestamps might actually be right there in the timeline of the video. Pretty cool. Now, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, this is a live show, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours. Another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe there's something about Maximum Apocalypse that you'd like to get a closer look at, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. First out the gate tonight in chat is Jack Hanks. In fact, he beat me to the punch in chat tonight. The Madman, one of our chat moderators, is with us, as is Marius Smith, Kevin King, Scott B. Smith, Kathy Evans is also in the house. So welcome aboard, everybody. It is Tuesday. Let's get the week off and running. So let's jump on into the news. There is a deluxe edition of the classic war game 3 Days of Gettysburg up on the GMT Games P500 pre-order list. I've got the lowdown on the game. GMT Games and the Great Battles of the American Civil War design team are proud to announce 3 Days of Gettysburg Deluxe Edition. the ultimate edition of the definitive game of the Battle of Gettysburg. First published in 1995, 3 Days of Gettysburg has stood the test of time as one of the most popular games of the great battles of the American Civil War series. 3 Days of Gettysburg Deluxe Edition will include over 10 scenarios. They range from small skirmisher contests on half-size maps to the ultimate Gettysburg experience on 4 full-size maps depicting the entire battle, including the East Cavalry battlefield. Other scenarios will depict the first day's fighting for the hills surrounding Gettysburg, the second day's assault on Sickles Salient, and the third day's cavalry fight on Cress Ridge. Buford's defense against Heath as his division approaches Gettysburg using the new skirmisher rules. There's the July 2nd evening assault on Cemetery Hill, the fight north of town on July 1st, and several others. The game includes smaller scenario maps. Experienced players will be able to play many of the scenarios in one sitting. The 3 Days of Gettysburg Deluxe Edition will include many exclusive rules to represent the special situations at Gettysburg. However, many rules are optional, allowing players to decide what level of complexity they want. 3 Days of Gettysburg Deluxe Edition promises players many hours of enjoyable play on a familiar subject, but with a different and more historical feel. This will be the ultimate Gettysburg game for years to come. 3 Days of Gettysburg Deluxe Edition is for 2 players, ages 14 and up. Most scenarios will complete in one sitting. So let's take a guess, 3 to 4 hours. And it can be pre-ordered right now for the special price of $63 with an eventual MSRP of $99. Nice to see this return, because out of all of the great battles of the American Civil War series games, to not be in print anymore, kind of silly to not have Gettysburg. I mean, come on. So very nice. And I think last time I took a peek, there were approximately 1,600 orders placed for 3 Days of Gettysburg. So this is going to the printer, no doubt about it. Tessie Trekkie is joining us in chat. Says, good morning from myself and the various monsters decorating their work cubicle. Well, howdy, Tessie Trekkie and monsters. Arriving next month from Osprey Games is the Urban Decay role-playing game. Here's the skinny. A role-playing game of fast-moving, beat-em-up action. Take to the streets, take on the gangs, take back your city. As night falls over the city, a storm is brewing in the streets below. The gangs have taken over. They rule with an iron fist, their will enforced by armies of thugs and brawlers. Gutters run red. The authorities have either sold out or either stretched too thin to make a difference. Might makes right. You will not tolerate this any longer. Uniting with a crew of like-minded individuals, you head out to reclaim your home, protecting neighborhoods, inspiring others to take a stand, and clashing with gang enforcers as you work your way through their ranks, seeking to cut the head from the snake coiled at the heart of the city. Urban Decay is a role-playing game of beat-em-up action inspired by classic arcade video games, movies, and comic books. Players take on the roles of warriors, martial artists, vigilantes, and ordinary citizens, taking to the streets to face the gangs that control the city and to save the people and places they love. Streamlined character and crew creation produces distinct, capable heroes with shared goals and bonds, while the versatile clash system emphasizes the brutal, gritty street fights in which these heroes will find themselves. The city itself is built collaboratively, with players working together to find the districts and neighborhoods for which their heroes will go to war. The 160-page hardcover of Urban Decay will carry an MSRP of $25 when it arrives in November. I do notice the price is lower. Yes, you heard that correctly. Normally, the Osprey Games role-playing game hardcovers are $35. Now, I seem to recall they usually run a little over 200 pages. But still, lately we have seen a lot of companies cutting their page count and boosting the prices of their role-playing games. So this is a very nice change of pace, I must say. Artwork's kind of cool too. I thought that looked pretty interesting. Philippe Legault is with us. Says, wonder if that beat-up car picture in Urban Decay was part of a bonus encounter to get points for the PCs. I don't know. I have no idea. I just took this from a preview copy of the game. Yes, that's right. I have a preview PDF of Urban Decay. So if Osprey Games sends me a copy, I will share coverage of it. If they don't, because it's been a while since I've seen any physical releases from Osprey Games, I will have, well, I shouldn't say I'll ask Sammy to do a review of this. On to some horror role-playing game news. Now available in print and PDF is the Delta Green adventure Convergence from Rock Publishing. Here's the spooky. The Sky Watches, September 1996. In a small Tennessee town, teenager Billy Ray Spivey vanishes for 2 days without explanation and comes back changed. When he uses unnatural powers to kill 2 people, conspiracy theorists blame UFOs. Delta Green has other suspicions. A team of agents heads to Groversville. I like the name Groversville. It's kind of a takeoff on Grover's Mill. Yeah, get it? To find the truth, but they may become the next victims. Written by John Scott Tynes, Convergence was the first Delta Green scenario ever published. Delta Green's illegal conspiracy of government agents exploit their positions and connections to cover up lethal incursions from beyond time and space, facing the madness so that no one else must. Convergence has blighted the nightmares of unwitting players since it first appeared in 1992. This edition has been thoroughly edited and updated for Delta Green, the role-playing game, and it accompanies Delta Green, the Conspiracy, a source book for terrors in the 90s, which I just reviewed last week. This is the horror that started it all. Prepare your briefing, gather your players, give them our best wishes. None of you will ever be the same. The 34-page softcover with PDF is available right now from DriveThruRPG for $19.99, or if you would just like to grab the PDF, you can do so for $4.99. Kevin R. Smith is with us in chat, asking, wait, the Dilbert cartoonist has a cameo? Well, I don't know. Are there racists involved in this adventure? What an ass clown. Not Kevin. I'm talking about, what the hell's that guy's name? Scott Adams? Isn't that it? Scott Adams? Kevin says, not that Scott Adams, I take it? No, not that Scott Adams. Out in PDF from Mongoose Publishing is Traveler Adventure Class Ships. Here's what I know. Adventure Class ships, those vessels of 2,000 tons or less, are the mainstay of Traveler and the most common ships found on the space lanes by far. This book gives you more than 60 new ships in this class to be used by travelers, pirates, traders, government forces, and corporations. Each vessel has a specific role in the universe and has been built to accomplish it with the best components available to its builders. In this book, you will find exploration ships. These are the vessels that travel far beyond the frontier, seeking new worlds, aliens, and awe-inspiring stellar phenomena. Merchant ships, the backbone of interstellar commerce. In this book, you'll find merchant vessels of all sizes and for all budgets. Passenger ships. While merchant ships carry cargo, these vessels carry people, and travelers are likely to have been carried by many of them in their lives. Working ships, the unsung heroes of space. These ships keep the galaxy turning and include salvage ships, jump cutters, customs patrol craft, prison ferries, and more. Military ships. These are ships with guns, designed to outmaneuver and outfight any enemies they come across. Pirates and corsairs use similar vessels, though for very different purposes. Then we've got traveler-built ships. What happens when travelers with millions of credits decide to design their own ship? This chapter explores the expansive and often highly specific ships that can result. Then we've got Aslan, Swordwolves, and Vargar ships. Beyond the Third Imperium and its affiliated states, other empires can have very different takes on ship design, but these vessels might just be the perfect ride for a group of travelers. Plus, there's rules on how your travelers can get their hands on any of these ships after their careers are completed and they are ready to voyage across the stars. The 160-page hardcover with PDF can be pre-ordered right now for an MSRP of $49.99, or you can pick up just the PDF alone. It is currently available over at Drive-Thru RPG for $29.99. Scott B. Smith points out prison ferries, worst fay ever. Tessie Trekkie says, Scott Adams is a wonderful human being who just doesn't want to live near people with darker skin than his. Okay. Roger Perdome has joined us. Good to see you, Roger. Kevin King says traveler ship maps have improved over the years. Oh, yes, they certainly have. Kevin King also says $30 for a PDF. Joy. It's Mongoose Publishing, man. Where have you been? I've given up on talking about, oh, man. Can't believe how expensive the PDF is for this. Now it's just a given. It's Mongoose Publishing. It's how it goes. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you're going to go visit Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller's Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads, and if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And if you say go to Drive-Thru RPG, but you're actually planning on going to Dungeon Masters Guild, easy peasy, just click on our drive-thru ad, look down lower left side, click on Dungeon Masters Guild, and the affiliate code will remain. Kind of cool. So it's not like you have to go to a link to that specific site you're heading to. You can actually just go to Drive-Thru RPG first and then continue on to, say, Wargame Vault. And, of course, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, then you can always swing on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. And the madman recently stopped by, and it was not a small donation that he made. Thank you, thank you. Bok, bok, Easter Bunny. And yes, I really do appreciate all of you out there who use the banner ads and or stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang. It is much appreciated. Big tip of the cap to you all. All right. So real quick random musing tonight, and then we are going to get on into our first look at Maximum Apocalypse, and I will quit saying it strangely. I will refer to it as Maximum Apocalypse, I hope, from here on out. I don't know. It's just, for some reason, I just want to say Maximum Apocalypse. Anyway, we'll be getting to that in just a few moments. Did want to mention, I sort of have the feeling I may have shared my final review for Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards of the Coast. I have not received the box set, the slipcase set for Planescape. So here's what's bizarre. And this is not going to be a long rant or anything. I'm just mentioning this. So if you've been following the Gaming Gang for a while, you know I have mentioned previously that Wizards of the Coast used an outside third party as far as their PR for Dungeons and Dragons, and they used another company for Magic the Gathering. And then last month, I got an email from one of my contacts at that PR company saying, hey, from here on out, Wizards of the Coast will be handling all of their press for Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't know what they did with Magic the Gathering because I have absolutely no connection going there and never really have. So I was like, oh, okay. So I thanked my contact for all the hard work that they put in because they've been the PR company for Wizards of the Coast for a few years. They're like, oh, yeah, thanks. I said, hey, if you have any other clients, tabletop gaming or something that would be geek culture related that my audience might be interested in, keep me in the loop. Oh, okay, great. So they gave me the contact at Wizards of the Coast, and it's not a person, it's just an email address. And they said, this is going to be the contact from here on out. Okay. Got absolutely no news from that email address. Nothing. Now, I have been getting updates from D&D Beyond, but that's just seemingly just news releases because I have a D&D Beyond account. Okay. So I'm sitting there, and I mentioned this last week. I was like, yeah, kind of surprised. Haven't heard anything because early access to Planescape, if you had pre-ordered on D&D Beyond, was today. And normally, review copies would be in reviewers' hands prior to that point. Okay, so last Friday, I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to send an email to this contact email because this is weird. I mean, I haven't gotten any notification of anything. Sent the email, no response. I'm like, okay. So yesterday I get an email from the PR company, and the contact from the PR company said, hey, Jeff, I wanted to make sure that you've got the digital code for Planescape. I'm thinking, why would he be sending me the digital code? Right? Even though that's how I always got it. And I would always get an email from FedEx saying I had a package in transit from Wizards of the Coast. Don't have that either. So anyway, I shot another email today to this contact email at Wizards of the Coast because I see that there are some outlets out there who were sharing photographs of their copies of the slipcases, because I guess there's two, right? There's the standard edition, and then there's the Friendly Local Game Store alternate art edition. And they started sharing photographs of them back on the 28th of September. And now there are a couple of videos out there with first looks at Planescape, and I still haven't heard jack shit. So my assumption has to be, oh, and of course, I didn't get any response from Wizards of the Coast and their D&D creators' email address. So anyway, my assumption has to be that that's it. That Wizards of the Coast now only wants the same shills and ass kissers covering their products, and anybody who is independently minded. But the weird thing is, why give me the digital code? It's like, to be honest, I never go on D&D Beyond. I don't. I'm not a fan. If it's a PDF, great. I like PDFs, fantastic. I don't like having to go and surf a browser in order to be able to read a game book. No, it's just not my thing. Kevin King says, if you want to review D&D, submit your financials and give them a cut off the top. Just remember, though, they then own your IP. That's why I also kind of get a kick out of, and as I pointed out before, if they decided that they didn't want to send me stuff anymore, I'd be like, whatever, that's fine. Like, that's okay. To me, it's stupid. I mean, we've covered Wizards of the Coast since the day the gaming gang started. And so we're going on 14 years of covering D&D. That's a hell of a lot more coverage than a lot of these people have. Oh, and then one of the other things I noticed is that some of these people who had the review copies that they were sharing coverage of have, now I'm not trying to imply that this is some big massive outlet, because it's not. You know that. It's like we're a little website that could. But they have like absolutely no audience whatsoever. I was looking at one person, and I'm not naming names. I'm not here to pick on people, but they seem to be more of a D&D focused website, or I shouldn't say website, YouTube channel. Yet none of their videos had more than like 200 views. I mean, you fall out of bed with a D&D video and pull in more than 200 views. So anyway, just pointing that out. Do not be shocked if you no longer see coverage of Dungeons and Dragons here through the gaming gang. Just letting you know. Something else real quick. I don't know if I was a little feisty or something today or what, but I had another company send me a news post, right, about a game that I had actually shared news of before, and now it's coming out in stores. And I was like, you know what? I've asked these guys a few times to possibly review some of their games. And I'm like, and I don't recall ever hearing anything back from them. And it is a marketing email that it comes from. It's not a, like, no reply at, It's like, don't bother responding. No, it's a marketing email address. So I took a look because I save about a year of emails. And I took a look and I saw that I had contacted them 3 times saying, hey, yeah, more than happy to share this news. I'd love to, have an opportunity to review X game or B game, whatever, and have never gotten a response. So to this email, I responded, hey, you know what? Please remove me from your press list because I have contacted you on multiple occasions to see about possibly reviewing one of your titles, and I haven't even gotten the courtesy of a reply. So I have no interest in promoting a company like that. So, like I said, a little feisty today, but it kind of gets to the point where it's some of these companies act as if, they're doing you a favor by asking you to share news of their Kickstarter, shit like that. Lord Cost 2000 is with us in chat. All right, so we are going to dive on in and take a look at Maximum Apocalypse in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's refreshment time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Hey, Mom. Yes, you. Why fuss and fret about dinner? Why not have it right here? Yes, this drive-in offers everyone in the family a real picnic treat for dinner. We've got delicious sandwiches with all the trimmings and your other dinner favorites, plus whatever you want to drink, hot or cold. Come early before the show starts, or eat while you're being entertained, or at intermission time. So why fuss? Give your family a tasty dinner at this drive-in.
If I was a mountain climber, I'd yodel loud and clear. For Bush Bavarian beer.
Bush Bavarian beer. It's America's new taste in beer. For that take, time for fun, kind of living.
If I was you, I'd yodel for Bush Bavarian, too.
This machine will make you want a cup of Wilkins coffee. Not me. I'll take mine with cream and sugar.
And now, boys and girls, here is what you get when you join the Secret Squadron. This membership card with your very own Secret Squadron number, this official Secret Squadron manual, and this combination badge and decoder. Look, here's how the decoder works. I'll give you a 2-word clue. The second word is in our secret code. The first word is watch. Now, here is the secret code word. Write down these numbers. 17, 3, 20. Now, set your secret decoder like this. For code A3. Then decode this important clue to next week's adventure. If you don't have your decoder badge, here's how you can get one for your very own. First, get a jar of the official Secret Squadron drink, delicious chocolate-flavored Ovaltine, the food drink for rocket power. Then cut out the wax paper disc that covers the Ovaltine jar. And send that disc with your name, your address, to me, Captain Midnight, Box P, Chicago 77, Illinois. That's all. Send no money. It's free to every boy and girl who joins the Secret Squadron. And when you receive your secret decoder badge, membership card with your very own Secret Squadron number, and 12-page manual, you'll be a full-fledged member. Remember, get your Ovaltine, the food drink for rocket power. Hot or cold, it's got what it takes to help you be a leader in your gang. So every day, drink instant Ovaltine.
Yes, drink more Ovaltine. Son of a bitch. I see Shaz is with us in chat. Welcome, welcome. The Madman says they have similar issues at work. They complete a project for someone, then they don't get any replies as to whether what they provided is acceptable or needs changes. Just crickets. Philippe says less D&D means more other reviews. WotC doesn't need more press. But here's the thing. My Dungeons and Dragons videos pull in thousands of views. And those thousands of views generate revenue for the gaming gang. Revenue which is really needed. So, other videos don't. So, I would love to see Free League Publishing videos pull in 12, 13,000 views. They just don't. So yes, that is one of the issues about not ending up having any sort of D&D video coverage. It will hit the channel hard, ladies and gents. It certainly will. Anyway, forgot to say hello to our other chat moderator who's probably hanging out. Say hello to Sarah D. Hopefully she's doing well. All right. Kevin R. Smith says, Free League deserves it, but the world is unfair. Yes, the world is unfair. Actually, nothing I do pulls in as many views as D&D videos. They just don't. They just do not. I think if I take a second to think about it, D&D videos probably make up 15 or 16 of the top 20 viewed videos on the channel. It's not the number one, amazingly enough, but probably 15 or 16 of the top 20 viewed videos are for D&D. Yes, and Sarah D is hanging out with us. Nice. Matthew Constantine is with us. Says, folks very, very rarely reach out to me for reviews. Sadly, most of the time, it's somebody's small press, 5e Kickstarter, or whatever, and I just don't do D&D. Kevin R. Smith asks, does D&D include third-party stuff like Cobalt Press? No. Cobalt Press doesn't pull in the views. I'm telling you, folks, it's no joke. And like I said, you know, if Wizards of the Coast has decided, hey, you know what? This guy's always got some sort of problem with our releases. So away with him. Okay, that's fine. I get it. But kind of irritating. Yeah, I think the most irritating thing is not having anybody let me know. That's it. You know, just like the PR company that was handling them, they sent out, and I talked about this on a live show, and people were like, some people were like, oh, it's just sour grapes. Jeff's crying and moaning, you know, bitching and moaning and stuff like that. And it was the fact that I had shared a first look at every page of a D&D book, not thinking, because it wasn't as if the camera was all that clear. And I guess Wizards of the Coast did not like that. And the PR company sent out my copy of whatever the next book was behind everybody else. They held back on shipping it out. So, of course, I had no idea if it was coming or not. And same thing. They didn't say anything. And I finally reached out to them and they said, well, Wizards of the Coast had an issue with your last D&D video. And I said, well, what was it? So I actually spoke to the woman who was in charge of the Dungeons and Dragons account at this PR company. Super nice. Talked about it, blah, blah, blah. And then everything was fine. But it was kind of the same thing. It was like, okay, so we're pissed off that you did this, but we're not going to say anything to you. It's another problem that we've got in this industry. I think it's a problem everywhere, but too many people just have no balls whatsoever. And it's like, you know, they do something screwy and you call them on it, and then it's like, ooh, they disappear. It's like, okay, what are you, 3 years old? Matthew says, not doing D&D, along with extremely low effort output on my part, are probably why I don't get many views. I don't get tons of views, but, you know, I enjoy doing this. All right, so enough of that. Now watch, I'll be done and I'll have an email from Wizards of the Coast saying, you, Jeff. Like, all right. So we're taking a look at Maximum Apocalypse from Rock Manor Games. It is designed by Mike Nade with artwork provided by Gustav Rangmar. Hopefully I'm close on that pronunciation. This is the second edition of the game. It is for 1 to 6 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 45 to 90 minutes, carries an MSRP of $80, which is actually currently on sale, though, for $60. So you can save $20 if you order from Rock Manor Games. That is, save $20 off the MSRP. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Maximum Apocalypse. So let's get the shrink wrap off of it. Artwork looks pretty solid. This is a pretty hefty box, I must say. So let's take a look at the back. The world is over. We're just trying to survive what's left of it. Maximum Apocalypse is a cooperative roguelike adventure game set amid the backdrop of different apocalyptic scenarios. As you explore the post-apocalyptic world, 1 to 6 survivors work together to complete mission objectives. On each turn, a player can use up to 4 actions to explore the map, play cards, equip weapons, scavenge for resources, draw cards, or battle roaming monsters. Picking a unique survivor class within the group, players must plan their strategy while leaning on their character's strengths in order to defeat monsters and avoid starvation. For example, the fireman is deadly up close with his axe. Meanwhile, the stealthy hunter is great at scouting the map and avoiding traps. But roaming monsters are gathering quickly and time is running out. Can you survive the apocalypse? All right, looks like we've got 6 miniatures in here. We've got 4 different apocalypses. We've got the zombie apocalypse, the mutant apocalypse, the alien apocalypse, and the robot apocalypse. And I think there are some additional apocalypses available as expansions as well. Well, that box cover just did not want to come off. So here we've got our rule book. It's our Learn to Play guide, a mission log. Looks like we've got some tokens, an organizer in the box here, so that's cool. It's telling us how to put that together. and bunch of cards, various tokens as well. All right, so first thing we'll do is we are going to take a look at the Learn to Play guide. I think we will probably only take a look at a couple of pages in that mission log, because I have the impression that that is kind of a campaign book. So here we've got our rules. Yes, you may have noticed I have a different piece of fabric here on the table. So it is not black any longer, because for some reason it seemed like the black was causing problems with the autofocus on the Panasonic here. So hopefully this will change things up a bit. Although, sadly enough, there's a bit of a texture to this material, which kind of causes a bit of, well, I don't even know what the right term is, but let's see if it does it. It doesn't look like it. I noticed in my review that I did for Vaesen, A Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries, there was a little bit along the sides here. So maybe it was just, the focus was just a little too sharp. Okay, so we've got our components. We've got 14 Survivor character cards, 7 figures, 6 health dials, 14 Survivor standees, if you want to use those instead of the figures, reference cards, surgeon cards, fireman cards, gunslinger cards, mechanic cards, veteran cards, and hunter cards. Got allies, 108 monster cards, some dividers, scavenging cards, map tiles, and the hunger dice. Welcome to Maximum Apocalypse. This game is fully cooperative, with players working together to navigate their way through a series of missions, forming a campaign. You will not play an entire campaign in one sitting, but the game can easily be saved at the end of any mission. This book is meant to walk you step by step through your first few missions of the campaign, teaching you about the rules as you need them so that you can get playing immediately and learn as you go. Nice. Kevin King said the box description said roguelike, correct? Yes. Shouldn't the campaign be randomly generated each playthrough? You would think, and I think that's where we get the map tiles. That we might, I'm just guessing, right? We're on the first page here. But we do have map tiles. We might actually take so many of those tiles, shuffle them up, lay them out, and we explore. I know a lot of games kind of do that. And some of the tiles you wouldn't use, you'd put them back in the box. Right, so we've got overviews of our survivors. So you're going to pick survivors. You're going to select a mission. You're going to build the map. Here we go. Set aside the van tile. Mystery Mobile. Then make a stack with the map tiles included in the mission. Shuffle the tiles, build a map by placing face down all the tiles in the stack. Who was just saying that? Sort of had a feeling, but it's saying that you're only going to utilize certain tiles that are shown in the mission log. And then you're going to build a monster deck, organize your scavenge cards, set out your tokens, and pick a starting player. So here's an example setup. Jack Hanks says, I have this game, yet have never played it. I believe you could play it solitaire. So this is our map. There's our van. Looks like it's a VW. It's like this is the survivor deck. We have our character cards. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The play area here, that's our survivor deck. All right, so it's kind of weird because it's showing like numbers. There we go. Okay, so all this is on the previous page because I'm looking here and it's like, okay, A, B. I'm like, yeah, okay, but where's this? It's prior to. So talking about playing the game, each turn follows the same order: spawn monsters, draw a card, player actions, monster activation, hunger and other status effects, check for victory. So you can perform a card action. So you can spend an action to activate a card's action in your play area. Here we're seeing a crossbow. Then we have free actions. Once per turn, you may perform each of the following actions for free. Discard 2 survivor cards from your hand and draw a new card from your survivor deck. Give, take, trade, scavenge cards with another player as long as you're on the same tile. And deliver cards that are part of a mission objective to a tile. Example, if you're on the van tile, you may deliver on the van any fuel you are carrying. Then we got effect ranges. Damage in combat. We've got our monsters there. Hunger. So we have starvation. The end of the game, saving your progress. There we go. Solitaire mode. Jack Hank says, I've started playing board games again. It was super hard when his daughter was 2 to 6. That I could understand. I would also figure it'd be pretty impossible to leave any games set up in the house. And Jack also points out that they had kickstarted Maximum Apocalypse. And just one of the games that they need to get to. So here we got our missions. So it looks like we've got 12 missions. Breaking down the anatomy of cards. So we've got gear, the scavenge cards, character cards. So starvation, you actually flip your card over your character card. So it looks like it's grayscale. We got our glossary here. This looks kind of interesting. All right, mission log. Real quick, I'll flip through this. So mission 0 is a tutorial. Mission 1, the scientist. 2 is collect samples. 3, find the cure. 4, nuclear winter. Defuse the bomb, nuclear fallout. Plot alien movement. Intel recovery. Human strike back. Convoy. Protect the base. And burn robots, burn. So it looks like you actually run through all 4 apocalypses in the campaign game. And there is actually a Maximum Apocalypse role-playing game. Well. I think there's a free quick start too. So here's our info about organizing our box. We've got just one punch board here. Very well cut. So it looks like we've got radiation or biohazard. Actually, I think that's the biohazard symbol there. I think these are maybe hits from 1 to 20 points. Fuel, food, and ammo. Okay, so that is that. And the camera is actually higher up there. So I'm going to zoom in. I have to jump up to do this because we'll get a closer look at the miniatures and everything. So here are our tiles. All right, let me grab that. All right, there we go. So these are fuel tokens because they're little gas cans. And ammo tokens because it looks like we've got little bullets on there. There's a bunch of stuff in here. We've got the stands for the standees. We've got colored discs for the miniatures. We have the trackers with the dials. Looks like we've got 4 of those. Oh no, there should be 6, right? Because there's six survivors. Okay, so we've got little stars, A, B, C on those stars. 6 six-sided dice. 2 of them are larger than the other 4. Now we've got the different decks. I think that's monsters, right? That looks like that'd be monsters. These are survivors. We've got some baggies. So I'm going to put the cards and tiles off to the side. This looks like monster tokens here. Yeah. It's like a little monster head there. And I will just put these back into the box. There we've got our minis. And it looks as if we have additional trays for our various different cards and tokens. That's cool. So here we got the fuel, food, ammo, gear. There's our dials. Nice. Cool. I'm going to put these back in and let's take a look at the miniatures. So we've got a dog. So that must be an ally. That must be one of our allies there. You know what? I don't think. Kevin King's calling it a night. Thanks for popping in, Kevin. We'll see you next time. I was going to say, I don't think I've got the autofocus on because I'll actually hold up the, yeah, as you can see, the autofocus is not on. I'll hold the miniatures up to get a better look. Roger's rocking out too. Good to see you. We'll see you next time. All right. So we've got the dog. Then we've got the firefighter. Look like pretty solid sculpts here. Pretty good detail on these. The gunslinger. I guess it's supposed to be the man with no name, eh? Kevin asks, I wonder if the dog is for the veteran and dog survivor combo. Very well could be. So this should be the hunter because they've got that bow. Matthew says, good looking figs. Yeah, these do look pretty solid. I think this is the mechanic. Looks like that's the mechanic here. The doctor? Wasn't there a doctor? I think this is it. Kevin says it sure does look a lot like young Clint Eastwood. Yeah, where's our Lee Van Cleef? Or Eli Wallach? All right, then this should be our veteran. These look like these would paint up pretty nicely. Okay. So those are the miniatures. I'll put those back into the box then. All right, I'm going to hop up one more time because now I'm going to lock in the focus because we're going to be looking at the cards and stuff like that. All righty then. Let's see. Just save us some hassle. These are zombie cards, possibly. Just seem to have numbers here. Ambush. Each player draws a monster card. Reshuffle spawn deck. First aid. Fortified. Fishing. Trade. Safety. Church. Matthew's taking a really deep dive on Western that guy actors. Oh, come on. Somebody's going to throw out like Terrence Hill. I know it. Come on. Okay, so we've got that. Let's take a look at these tiles because these are our locations. This strikes me as the sort of game that my nephew Cameron would enjoy because, for one, he likes the post-apocalyptic games because, of course, you know, Fallout. So we're not going to look at all of these, but just kind of get an idea. We'll tell you that the cardstock of this, nice and thick. So there's our van, and yes, sure enough, it is a Volkswagen. So we got a couple of farms, hospital, gas station. A gas station with a higher number with a monster head. Oh, there's a few. There's 3. Bandit camps. You know, one time at bandit camp, a couple of tunnels, got a police station. Shopping mall, grocery store, same artwork. Open field, a couple of those. A couple of forests. A couple of shelters. I'm not sure what these numbers mean. Of course, we just took a peek at the rules. The madman says, "So is the van down by the river?" I used to do an impersonation of that all the time. I don't know if my voice could handle it anymore. So got a couple of those, some city streets, and you'll notice it tells you different things that are going on, right? So city street, when you enter it, draw a monster. When you reveal the open field, draw a monster. When you end a turn, I guess in that location, draw a monster. I don't know if these are the monster cards. Because I sort of have the impression that if your number matches what you're looking at here, something happens. Just taking a stab. Got a graveyard. Got a nuclear power plant. Oh, there's our alien crash site. Damn you, aliens. A couple of mountains. A couple of deserts. A factory. An oasis. I do like the artwork quite a lot. Got a military base, which has a 0. And it says, if you enter, deal 2 damage to all monsters in front of you. An amusement park. We are not amused. An airport. And a prison. Yeah, there you go. Straight out of The Walking Dead. Yes. Once again, really, really nice and thick on these tiles. So I like that a lot. Also like the fact that you can play this solitaire. Now, I don't know if you're just playing as one character or if you would have a few characters as a team. I would think you'd probably have a few characters. Maybe at least a couple. So these are the survivor decks. So we've got our mechanic. So the gunslinger was a woman. Well, well, well. And they were like, oh yeah, that looks like Clint Eastwood, man. The hunter. Oh, it's the surgeon. The dog. The veteran is also, oh, you know what? I think we have this with each sex, because there's the mechanic. There's the firefighter. That's why we have, Kevin R. Smith says, I guess her hair was tucked under her collar. No, we've got cards for each sex. So there we go. So we've got the surgeon there, which is why we have the standees, because we have all of these as standees. We only have one of the 2 for each class as a miniature. There we go. There's our veteran, our hunter, our fireman, and our gunslinger. Looks like quite a few cards in each of their decks. Maybe 20. We'll take a look at these in just a sec. So the gunslinger has quick draw. Passive, start with your Colt pistol equipped. When you starve, shuffle it into your deck. We got our fireman. So we should have, I was going to say, we should have more cards. Well, it looks like the dog gets its own deck. I'm kidding. It says veteran and it shows the dog. So I believe Kevin was correct when he said that the veteran and dog go together. Kind of funny that they show the dog. And then we've got our surgeon. I think these are like examination cards. We've got reference cards as well. Okay, so let's take a quick peek at some of this. So this is the surgeon. Quick thinking, adrenaline shot. Pick a player. That player may take 2 actions right now. Molotov cocktail. Drill. Jeez. Scalpel. Taser. Scrubs. Mortar and pestle. See what we got with the gunslinger. Grenade. That's not a gun, that's a grenade. Tactical leadership. Lasso. Focus shot. Bulletproof vest. Hollow points. Place on a weapon. That weapon is fully reloaded and does 2 extra damage until ammo is expended. Reloading this weapon destroys the card. We got revolver. Trigger happy. You may take 2 additional actions this turn. Got the fireman. Fireman's stamina. Move up to 3 spaces, draw a card. Where's my axe? Oxygen tank. Fire extinguisher. Flare. Trusty axe. A ladder. And a lighter. What is he, starting fires? Here's our veteran. Luger. Dog collar. Says reduce damage to the dog by 1. Incapacitate. If the dog is alive, stun and deal 2 damage to a target. Why did they cut off the face of the dog with that? That's not good graphic design there. Trust his instincts. Damn you all. I was going to say, most of the veteran stuff is for the dog. There you go, dog whistle. And a mortar. So that's to give you an idea of the various different character decks. Like I said, we also have some reference cards, dual-sided, turn sequence, and ranges explained. So we had more cards for the mechanic. All right, where are you at? There we go, down there. So these are scavenge cards. Kevin R. Smith says it's a Fahrenheit 451 firefighter. In the post-apocalypse, books are useless except as fuel. So you got food, fuel, speaking of. Ambush, more fuel, medical supplies, ammunition, backpack. So I guess that increases your carrying capacity by 1. More ammo, another ambush, empty-handed. Womp, womp, womp. All right, and then we'll have the monster cards, which there are over 100 of these. Just take a look at some of them. And these cards do have a bit of a linen finish. All right, so you got the Alien Commander, Alien Invader, Alien Soldier, Alien Mech. 18 hit points, 4 damage. My guess. Alien Scientist. Here we've got some allies. Maybe the allies are used when you're playing solitaire, because we got the fireman, the gunslinger, mechanic, surgeon, veteran, hunter, the dog. Oh, and then we have for each of the standees. That's cool. Mutant rat. And a mutant. And a marauder. Ooh, some bosses. Daxton Jaeger. Or Jager. Raging mutant. Missile tank. Laser drone. Another laser drone there. Phalanx robot. Demolition bot. Robot scout. Omni shot. Zombie spitter. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you're lovely. Zombie soldier. It's like few of those. Zombie dog, no! Rex, no! Few of those. Zombie walkers, looks like we got a few of these too. Zombie queen. And a zombie horde. All right, so those are all of the monsters. So I will actually be putting together the organizer in the box. So I will do this. So we've just taken a peek at everything from Maximum Apocalypse, the second edition, which is from Rock Manor Games. Stay tuned. I will have a review of Maximum Apocalypse in the very near future. Hooray! There's a lot of stuff in that box. It's like I'm trying to move some of this stuff out of the way. But really nice. Very cool. Once again, Maximum Apocalypse second edition is for 1 to 6 players, ages 13 and up. Plays in about 45 to 90 minutes. It's not the entire campaign. You're not going to play the campaign in 90 minutes. And it carries an MSRP of $80. You can currently pick it up as I share this stream over at Rock Manor Games for $60. Very nice. Very nice. That is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live, it'll also inform you when I share other videos, such as my recent review of Vaesen, A Wicked Secret, and Other Mysteries from Free League Publishing. And it'll also tell you when midnight Chicago time strikes and I share a new episode of the Gaming Gang October Spooktacular 2023. Yes, maybe you've been missing the Spooktacular. Spooky stuff, kids. So the rest of the week, tomorrow, we are going to take a first look at High Treason, the trial of Louis Riel, or Louis Riel. I'm not sure if it was pronounced Louis or Louis. This is from Victory Point Games, so we'll be diving on in to take a look at that. And then on Thursday, we are going to take a peek at Harnmaster from Columbia Games. Yes, Grant Douglas sent this along. We're actually going to finally have an opportunity to look at the role-playing game that is built for Harn. How about that? Now, I'm curious if this is a book inside or if this is like the earlier editions of Harn all are like have hole punches in them so you could put them into a binder. I don't know. Flaming Huron was with us tonight. Good to see you, Flaming Huron. Thank you kindly. As for next week, I might be taking a break next week. Don't know for sure. But if you follow the Gaming Gang channel here, you know I usually, with the live stream, take a week off every quarter. So I am considering maybe taking next week off because the reality is I'm a little behind on reviews. So I would like to get some reviews out there, and doing the Spooktaculars kind of cuts into that. So if I'm not doing a live stream next week, I should be able to knock out some more reviews. Of course, I'll have more reviews before next week. I have 2 that are in the bin that I'll be sharing very, very soon. Matthew says, oh, Harnmaster, that was legendary even when I got into gaming in the late 80s. Yes, that's what we're going to take a peek at. Because Grant tends to send me Harn, like Harn World, And I asked him in the interview I did with him, I said, well, what's the, oh, no, I'm sorry. I think it was when he joined us in chat. And I was doing a first look at the one Harn volume that was on Kickstarter. And I asked Grant, I said, well, what is the role-playing game that you prefer, role-playing system you prefer to use with Harn World? And he's like, oh, Harn Master. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot because he never mentions it. He only talks about like Harn World and the books that come out that are really system agnostic. So we are going to take a look at that on Thursday. All right. If you were watching live, thank you very much. If you watched and took part in chat, and thank you, a super chat from Mary Smith. Thank you very much. Anyway, if you were taking part in chat, tip of the cap to you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company while I'm doing an unboxing of a game or paging through a role-playing game. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very kindly for taking time out of your busy life to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang YouTube channel. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the channel, or maybe listening to episodes of the Spooktacular, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find here on the channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. I'll be back tomorrow, and I certainly hope all of you out there get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.